And sometimes these talents are even recognized before most children are able to walk. Okay, he looks familiar. Right? But how do we prepare children to actually bring those dreams to fruition? I think PXL has the answer. The power behind Project Excel Readiness program has a lot to do with the people who are willing to share their time, their talents, their resources, people who advocate for children and understand that they will directly impact our future, not just their future, but our future. These children will become our doctors, our police officers, our educators, our creators, and they need exposure and opportunities to explore future careers throughout their educational journey. And Project Excel has been doing that since the very beginning.
Can't tell if it clicks, if it goes on click or keyboard only.
So he looks familiar too. Again, if you've been part of my journey, you know that this is my forever baby, which I affectionately call baby Trey. His name is Tarvis. If I can say that now, he's out of school. My son Tarvis. At this age, he was 4 going into kindergarten, and I was a nervous wreck. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I prepared him enough for school. I was excited because he was growing up. I was sad because he was growing up. So I was a ball of emotions, and I was nervous about him entering school. My mom, who's also back there, she volunteered at pre-K like every single day. Like she was the teacher without being a teacher, without being an employee. But I knew when he went to kindergarten, she wouldn't be able to go to school every day to watch over him and the rest of the children, and to make sure he's getting educated. So like I said, I'm an educator. I had summers off. My husband said, "Why don't you create your own summer program? You know what you're preparing for. You know what he needs to learn. You have access to resources and information that can prepare him for school. So why don't you do it?" So I did it. And here, he's been with me since kindergarten as well. They came along, and I had a few other kids, and we started working with students over the summer, getting them prepared for the next grade level. And that's his first day of kindergarten, looking confident, looking ready, ready to excel. So I was super excited about his journey because I felt like every summer that I could contribute to his readiness for the upcoming grade. In the years that followed, we continued to prepare all of our students for the upcoming grade level, and they all continued to excel, which was great. But early on, I started to notice that very few opportunities for children to gain exposure to experiences and careers was lacking resources. So we started working to incorporate more career-driven activities. In 2021, Reverend Mayor Johnson of Flat Rock Church and our esteemed mayor of Fayetteville allowed me to use his auxiliary building of his church as well as a band. So I was able to increase my numbers that year, and I was able to serve more students and give them more opportunities to see different careers and to also prepare for their upcoming grade level. We moved out of my mom's dining room for the summer, and we had an actual building that was dedicated to us. So I was super excited about that. But again, as the program progressed and as I started to see gaps in opportunities for kids, I started incorporating more career-driven activities. So if you see here down at the bottom, our students went and had some internship opportunities. Again, my son wanted to be a chef, so he had a culinary experience in Hawaii. Joseph, he wants to be a sports broadcaster, so he had an opportunity to participate in the sports broadcasting program. And Jeremiah is interested in gaming, coding, and things like that, so he had an opportunity to intern with Carol's Conclave and experience that as all right. So in the summer of 2022, my former and forever principal, Dr. Marcus Broadhead, gave me a little spark. I would often sit down with him during meetings, and he would say things to kind of challenge the state of education. He would say, we need to stop playing school and really show kids what they can get out of education. And he would give me tidbits of information and ideas. And I was able to partner with some really amazing women And he gave us an opportunity to pilot a brand new program here in Fayette County through CEO of me, this is Powerhouse Company, Ms. Jennifer Evans. And we brought a dynamic program to Bennett's Mill Middle School for the summer. Students had an opportunity to build cities. They had an opportunity to create businesses. They had an opportunity to learn how to grow food from seed to harvest with Elevate Farms and Mance. And we had the community involved. I know that guy.
Can't miss that ball then. It's the bald head, thank you.
And we also parents had an opportunity businesses that the students created. The students were excited. It was a very, very awesome experience to have the community, parents, and the students showcase their talents and possible career choices. So that was really great. And we are back this year to do it again at Bennett's Mill with Metamorphosis Powerhouse Company, with Elevate Farms, and we are trying to bring this across Georgia so that students can start having the conversation throughout their journey, not just in bits and pieces throughout their education. Okay, so what are we looking for? We are looking for tough people. Tough jobs require tough people. We're looking for people who can dedicate their time, people who have access to unlimited resources, i.e. more tough people, and avenues to funding. We have a lot of great things coming up, and we just need people who want to share their experiences, speak with kids, act as mentors, come into our camp at Bennett's Mill and become a sponsor or be a judge. You know, you can get information about being a judge from Jason, because he's an awesome judge.
It was a lot of fun.
We also have a tour, a college tour for our students this summer, going to Howard University, the White House, as well as the African American Museum. We have a children's business fair coming up at Banks Vineyard. And we also have a brick fundraiser for the community garden at Bennett's Mill, which is a partnership between Project Excel and Elevate Farms. So if you are interested in giving your time or giving a name or coming by, stopping at our table for the bicentennial or the Juneteenth celebration, that would be really, really awesome. We are also looking for ways to improve. So if you want to come to a board meeting, if you want to join our board as an advisory council member, that would be really awesome. I'm just really ready to take Project Excel to the next level so we can reach more kids and help them see their dreams and help them bring those dreams into fruition.
Great job. So what I might have said at the beginning is that this is your second time presenting with us. I think second or third, yeah. I remember in the time prior, whether it was the first or the second time, you had showed a picture of a building. It was sort of like your dream space. That's not in this presentation. Has that dream changed?
It hasn't changed. It just seems so far into the future. I would still love a standalone building where children can come to a safe place and hang out with their friends and get tutoring, get mentorship, have people in the community come and speak to the children. Sort of like, you know, when I was growing up, I had the Boys and Girls Club. But we don't have that in our community. And I think that's something that's really needed. But with the twist, more focus on academic and career exposure for children versus just a place to hang out and get different programs. But yes, it's still a dream. It's still a dream. But right now, due to lack of funding and resources, I put it, a little bit up there.
Yeah, fair.
Yes.
Is there a specific age group, or is it any middle school, high school, like what age?
So now we are opening. We started the program in a cohort. So we took our kindergartners and I tracked them all the way up to 10th grade. They're in 10th grade. So they've been with me since they were 4 or 5, and now they're grown up. And I've started a new cohort of students as well. So I do tutor them, and they are currently in 3rd. Well, they're going to the 3rd grade now. But with this new opportunity at Bennett's Mill Middle and hopefully across Georgia. We can take any student and create an individual plan for them that takes them through wherever they are at that point, and then just expose them to careers that they're interested in. Yeah. Question? Yeah.
Where is your regular location? Opportunity for space.
Fayetteville.
So,
Yeah, right in my backyard. I want to make an impact in my own community. I work here, just down the street, 5 minutes from here. I live 10 minutes down the street. My partners are nearby, so Fayetteville would be the ideal location. Yeah,
You online.
I do not do online at this time. I don't know.
I want to know what you feel about it. And you have experience. I don't have kids. I have a brother in school. He's not. So I'm my own kid.
Yeah.
You can say that. So I'm asking like your perspective, experience. How do you feel about online? Because I feel like what I'm seeing here is very in person, very like you having people model behaviors and like I'm not making mind until they're physically seeing this thing occur in front of them. Oh, I can do this. Like, wow. And then you show me the thing. So I'm just curious.
Yeah. I mean, I think online is an awesome opportunity to reach many people. I think COVID has shown us how technology can reach beyond what we've ever imagined. As an educator, I do prefer in person, but I feel like I can reach students online as well. Because you can have people from all over the world chime in. A businessman from Japan can chime in and speak to a group of students. So I think the opportunity for online is awesome. I would love to venture out and figure out a way to do that. So if we do that, let's chat.
I just want to give you a lot of confidence. I think this is super, super exciting. It's one of those things you're like, this is so obvious, so I didn't really
Yeah.
think of that. I remember being in late teens, early 20s and not having a complete idea of careers. I used to intern and mentor graduate level students that were still so far from having a concrete idea of the career track that they were on. And what was happening is a lot of them get disillusioned when their career wasn't like because all they had was what they imagined.
Right.
This is so different. I just think it's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ideas later about it, space.
Awesome. Thank you.
I have one more comment. So I'm not reading a lot. And I think what you're providing, we used to have, agrarian society that used to have more community focus. Like I didn't have to think about what I was going to do. I was going to do what my dad did. And what you're providing is you're providing an opportunity to actually taste and do these things in physical context because our parents are off working.
Yeah.
Like I don't get to go to work with my dad. I go to work, participate in it. They give me toys, they don't give me the actual tools to learn. So I think what this is doing is it's filling in the gap. So when I see your vision, I see what you're trying to do, like and I'm like, it's amazing. Like that's a really incredible undertaking. I'm echoing what you said. It's really amazing.
Thank you. And when I presented before, I mean, I had the same dream, but I couldn't articulate it. I just couldn't find the words to put together to really show what I wanted to do. And then too, it grew. Things grew. Children grew. The program grew. We got new babies interested in new things. And I just wanted to give students the opportunity to see what careers are like. Just to see so that, they might change, and if they wait until they're 23 to change versus 14 or 12, that can make a huge difference. And, starting young, we start students young, 4 years old, they're doing curriculum plans about possible careers. You see the kids dressed up in their little, uniforms or police uniforms, and they're doing playtime in their pre-play classes. They don't revisit that again until there's a career fair or there is my kids are doing their pathways, the high school pathways, and they're like, I don't think I want to do that, but I'll just stick with it. Because I don't want to do that. But if they have the opportunity to have a robust, comprehensive transition program that says, hey, spend a week interning at, this radio station to see what it's really like to do sports broadcasting. Maybe you want to do sports writing instead. Spend a week, at a restaurant and see what it's like. Shadow someone, talk to someone who's done it before so you can get an idea.
I remember when I was 12, I don't remember what they call this teaching assessment, where it asks like 100 questions. And it will tell you based on, I don't think that everybody thought about left brain versus right brain. I think it's just, and it told me that I should be a social worker. Well, I understand now that I'm an older person, looking back why it said that. But I'm glad I didn't go to social work. But I'm glad it told me not an math and sciences guy should be some kind of people related to it.
Yeah.
So I could have went in sales, but instead she's kind of pigeonholed. Do you guys, because I haven't even looked at that since I was 12. Do you guys have some sort of assessment for one, just kind of have some idea of what area I'm gratitude for?
Yes.
I mean, there's a huge difference between engineer, math and sciences, and someone that loves to be more of a creative and enjoys reading literature. There's a huge personality, yet there's a huge divide.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you guys like really do what they start exploring different?
So in school, they do a super 100 questions. What do you like? They give you scenarios. You say, oh, this is more like me, or this is not. I think they usually do that 7th, 8th grade. More project cell is just a matter of exploring. So if the student says they're interested in engineering, we would all go to an engineering field trip and hear someone speak about engineering. And it might not be for all 4, but they get that exposure.
Yeah.
As they grew older, they started really defining what they want to do. So that's why you saw, Tarvis with his cooking experience, Joseph with his sports broadcasting experience. So as they grow up and they try to pinpoint what they like specifically, that's how we go about it.
I think it's a great idea. I saw guys that good guys that came from healthy, stable families. Get involved in some bad stuff.
Yeah.
So I look at it, I see it from the perspective of jobs. And because it could, 1 out of 10 kids say they could have been.
Right.
You find opportunities like the ones that they engage in, that Hawaii and broadcast.
So the Google is my friend.
Opportunities.
Just speaking to people, speaking to different people. Robert is a future photographer. I met him with his mom, the student, a former student at Readiness Middle School, like taking pictures. I run a club at the school, and I'm like, hey, you want to be a photographer? At all of our school events, you're going to be a photographer. Take some pictures. It just so happened that we had an event. There was a photographer there. They got introduced. Now he's interning with that photographer. So just speaking to people, talking to people about themselves. If I run into someone who has a career or access to an industry that one of my students are interested in, I talk to that person. I went down to the radio station down the street.
Yeah.
And I just went in like, hey, I have a student interested in sports broadcasting. I would love for him to come in and intern or tour or, look at the equipment, anything. And they're going to give him an opportunity this summer to do it. So just figuring out what they like and going forward with it. Even, my son was like, I want to be an Orange Power Ranger. Okay, let's go to Taekwondo. He went to Ottawa Martial Arts and he did Taekwondo for 6 years. The rest of the kids did Taekwondo too. And soon he didn't want to be a Power Ranger anymore, but we kept that relationship with that martial arts school because it did other things outside of teaching him how to, throw kicks and punches, help with discipline and structure and things like that. So just talking to people and figuring out what the kids need And if they change their minds tomorrow about their possible career, I'll be out on the table with you and looking to see what I can do to help them get it.
I do have a, I tried to do his name, and it doesn't work.
Oh,
It says you need permission.
That Google form,
that-
I changed the settings on it.
yeah, I'll probably-
It's all good. This is feedback. Yeah, check to see if it's just my phone.
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not.
it could be.
I'll just take a few minutes to share with you some comments we've gotten online. First, Miss J wants you to know that they are watching remotely. And Chriselle Madison gave you a great job. Miss J said, please share my woohoo, Melanie. Isaiah and I are in full support of Project Excel, prepared to help all summer long. Jason Gandy said, awesome stuff. I love how she's connecting kids with specific trades they're interested in to learn the skill. We need more of that. Better than college, in my opinion. Chriselle again said, such an awesome program. Miss J said, hi to the Nance kids. And Chriselle commented on the online. She said, the opportunity for online is vast. And then on Zoom, I invited, actually, this guy, Chuck, he runs the Entrepreneurial Hour up in Atlanta. He had been to the pitch contest, which is, so he recognized you. And that reminds me, that's why we think we've heard from you multiple times, because it was there. It just wasn't 1 million cups. But yes. He said, he gave me permission to use these comments as I see fit. I think now's a good time. He is suggesting that the word project indicates temporal nature, where this is a continuous problem that needs a solution. So how about Excel readiness? The company should have a different name, which Excel readiness is just one of many product offerings. A possible tagline for the company could be unlocking excellence, empowering leaders, Project Excel readiness program. Yeah, he sent it to me as a direct message, so it won't. I don't know if that's saved in logs or not, but I'll copy and paste it before it goes away. With your permission, Chuck.
Please be in touch. That link should work. Yes, I will.
Now, we're
Woo-hoo. Ooh.
It's great. Well, let's see. So thank you again. Let's give Melanie another round of applause. As I'm asking you all to clap and give her love, I also need to remind you that Rome is a pay to work environment. And I do have a meeting with them on Friday. We will determine our fate here at 1 million cups. I hope that we can remain here at Rome, but if not, we do have a backup location. I will let you all know about it as soon as possible. Definitely make sure that you're following us on social media so that we can share information as it comes in with you. What else do I have to say? We are now almost in the month of June. So the next night market is June 23rd. Robert is going to be a photographer in our photo booth. So please come by and support him. We are full for vendors. So if anybody has any inquiries for the future, please feel free to let me know. And let's see, next Wednesday, Amanda will be at the helm because I'll be on vacation. What's up? You got a hand up? Oh, please.
So while we were on our way here, I love my time. And so I told him that someone could potentially ask him for his thoughts on Friday. Nobody asked. So I didn't get a chance to hear what his thoughts are on it, and I've never asked. And I think that it would be cool to know, like, what is the
Yes.
on Friday.
Yes, and we have plenty of time, so please.
Yeah, so So are there any experiences that you had now after being a part of the project? Without practice?
You shared away. Did you have to talk to them? Looking at the straight.
It's really great.
Find where I want to go in it. And just having exposure to a lot of different things, folks, and simply. Speak on a little bit of in our own, just having exposure to that. You know, really good.
Drum roll, please. Trey?
Please.
Have been able to mingle and to our family. This helps us to help our kids to do just that to the extent. I've gone to her in tears sometimes, not knowing what to do about my kids. Early on, just realized that those was really talented, was into the garden, was bored. It's not a troublesome kid, but you need to know me, it was like, I don't know what to do with it. And she gave me some tips, and I talked to a teacher, and the teacher was like, "About my baby, he needs to be moved up." But I had a mathematics, I had no kind of attitude. Even when I was with the principal the first time, he was kind of like, "Well, all parents is smart," and I'm just like, but there's something different. But having talked to her, she helped me to have that conversation with me as a child and put him where he needs to find his pathway. Pulling things out of him, she has really been a tremendous asset to us and helping us to do that. And then just having a mom who has kids at the same age and going through the same experiences, and just having somebody who's out there with our kids are now in the teenage phase, and we're both like, what do we do now? Yes.
There's so much to what she just said that, very powerful. We want to put that in a bottle. And by that, we mean incorporate that into communication. Formalize it, it's not a word, but don't use it to capture that further.
Okay, last thing is now thinking about what you're saying. It's been a long time since I was in elementary school or high school, and I wasn't even in the state of Georgia. So just being able to have an educator that I can reach out to through the summer months to be able to ask, like, hey, what are we going into next year? What does this look like? So being able to get that parent training and that parent coaching is extremely important. And helping to be able to navigate what I need to do as a parent for them when it comes to just their education, as well as just exposure to all of the different avenues that they have to be exposed to. But definitely, I didn't even think about all of the things that come from Project Excel for parents. I now know like what the expectations are of my child and inside. Like, what does that look like? I, again, working in high school, things have changed dramatically. And knowing that I have access to someone who has insight into the group, is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm just excited that we're here. Yeah.
That's a good question. So like, if you have kids, how would they get in the program? Because you said you started a new cohort, so now, after this testimonial, every prayer in the room is like, oh, shit. Like,
Amen. Josette Evans, we are forming an opportunity for students of all ages. And we are creating individual and for students versus a cohort of students. So, we're using the summer months. This will probably go into effect the next summer because we're going to use summer to pilot the program, how it works. And then probably the top of the year, we'll start putting out information about recruitment, so that we can start planning summer activities, summer opportunities for students to sign up.
my 14-year-old brother was not tested on. There you go.
Okay.
You could tinker with him. He barely passed the 8th grade. He's like, he was failing everything. And then he took his exams. It's like, I'm gonna pass my exams, and nobody believed him. And then he passed. And he was like, screw you guys. Like, I did. So he's 14, right? Like, so like, but he's bored. He doesn't want to. But he's smart and he's motivated. So like, but he took him to get trained to be a scuba diver. He did that, no problem. Following certain instructions, like as long as he's engaged in the moment, it's completely different than sit in a chair and be quiet. Okay, like that's the great things. He gave his environment. So
They need to see that. I still am in education. I'm at the support teacher for parents and students. So part of my job is to motivate students who don't have that motivation. Students rush over classes and I'm like, you know what? I'm here. So I take time and I work with them on what they want to be. We do visuals, we do, personality tests, and talk about the futures. And I can pour into them a little bit, during the school day, just to kind of get that motivation started. And they end up coming to me, when they're friends, so can I sit with you? Can I look at your, magazine? Can I work on my vision board? So those opportunities, even in the schools, it's so amazing how everything comes full circle. But just to give other students opportunities during the school day, and then in the summertime outside of the school day in the nonprofit, I just felt like everything is kind of connected.
I want to say how proud I am of you. As a community partner for Project Excel, it's always great to see you have fun. Because for all of the room to support you, we're always wanting to know how to best support you. So it was helpful for me to hear that those in the room want me to go. That helps me help you. I would love to share. We have licensure in science is the space application kids can do career readiness. We already put things as you know. In my license. So when we hear people ask, hey, like how can you register? Maybe something that we can is Google for education. That way you have your own science Google classroom. That way everything can facilitate the folks like me and hey, the Google action to your Google classroom, you guys and that's a simple plug and play that we can do. And it also works with the learn, it also works with the workspace, you can have this ecosystem in a sense, and then other people have not, they can just sign in, really simple to use third-party application. As educators, people love text. So I look forward to continue having the conversation where all of them support you. Now that you have some feedback, thank you.
I wish we could split you apart. I have friends in Ohio. But to that end, have you explored like daycare programs? Like, introduce yourself to the daycare process. In different areas, we won't pay it, but a lot of people will be saying that it's fucking so weird. You know, we're trying to work with the disclosure as opposed to keep it very local.
Early on, I shadowed a few daycare workers and I went through the daycare, application process with like start. It was very overwhelming. And yes, just getting, because initially I wanted when they were 4, 5 years old, I said, yeah, I can open a daycare and just do my program. But it became very overwhelming, and I am really bad about delegating and asking for help. So some of that was like self-sabotage, but daycares would be awesome. Just to start the conversation, just to really start the conversation with those agencies.
I guarantee that. You know, it's program that you work with it so that they can be more directed. Yeah, so clone yourself.
Yeah, hey, who has a phone machine? I'm bringing down. Ready to go. Yeah.
That, I just want to back up to step. As a fundamental capital participant at the time, I noticed in between presentations in the businesses as I've been developing, everybody's kind of at a different stage in the development process. Some people super early, some people have a concept like you do, and now you're like, look, we have this thing, it works. Here's my examples of how it works. Please give me resources. Kind of the situation and resources to what the scale is. Let me ask this question, like if I was a person who had all of them, but
It's not.
I would ask you this question, I would say, what can you handle? Like, how many students could you handle? I'm like sitting there as a personal person, hey, my little brother, he sounds pretty good. But if I was an investor, and I was, oh, I'm gonna feel good about all this money. When you give it to you, what could you handle? Like, if you were to have an investment, what would that do? Like, what would you do with it?
I would definitely with STEM building, nothing big. I wish I had the presentation, but it was made from shipping. And comfortably, just me alone, I'm used to handling classes of 30, 35 kids. So that's me. But to include staff members and other classrooms, I would just, my mind is set up to work at school.
So environment, what does the environment accomplish? Like dreaming of a building is all good, but are there other ways to skin that cat? Like what does the building accomplish for you in your mind? Is it like a controlled environment? Is it a place?
Controlled environment, a safe place for kids to come.
Okay, safety.
Consistency, so that.
How often does it meet? That's what I keep thinking. Like you talked about this summer experience. Is that they come 5 times during the summer, or is it like a week-long camp, or is this or even like during the school year? How often are you seeing these kids in
full summer program? So 8 weeks, 5 days a week. Yeah, and I'm used to.
So building and building and but they're only doing it during the summer.
Well, now I am. Early on, we met academic competition, coding and that. So during the school year, I would is once per month, and then over breaks. So we have spring break and
So if somebody had a space that was 3,000 square feet for 8 weeks out of the year, does that almost accomplish what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
So that's way different than a standalone building. Like in terms of resource allocation, like I'm thinking from a business, you can rent it for 2 months and it's 2,000 square feet. That's that's what, like $6,000 or something like that? That's not a huge investment. It's not buying a building.
I'll actually add that these community centers that are owned by cities. If there's a community center that matters. I'm from Readiness, I'm from the city owns different community centers. They're dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. Some of them are good. I think pushing the city of Fayetteville, their community center, that you're nonprofit moving this, all with it already really cheap, they might even be severe just.
What about Southside Church that just opened, that took over the Dottie? That was called the
Yeah, I
Dottie,
just
right?
texted one of those guys and said,
Yeah,
we did it at the brewery on Wednesday nights.
right.
I met the pastor there.
And I mean, they just took over that space and my understanding is they specifically aren't branding the building as Southside Church because they want it to be open to the community and not feel like it's only for churchgoers. But that is like an insane amount of space that I'd imagine.
Your presentation was, I need this much physical space for this much time. And somebody to let us use a van for that period of time. Now all you gotta do is get a volunteer to drive it. Like, and now you're just in your space doing the thing.
Are we recording this?
You see what I'm saying? It's like, man, I want a Lamborghini. Really? You can just rent it for a month. And drive it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you can have the resource for the period of time that you need to use it, and you can plan everything to dump into that program like ahead of time. Those 6 weeks leading into it. Build all your programs, you line up all your things, everything is all lined up, and then you execute.
And those church meetings, you'll just keep it. Fill up gas, make sure the oil stays changed on, you know, I can guarantee they will change it.
They're just sitting there. There's tons of church fans just sitting.
But if you do that, filling it up with gas and you just kind of maintain them, they'll appreciate that and they'll let you know.
Nora's got her hand up, but I want to piggyback off of that thought really quick. I don't want to say names because I don't think it's appropriate, but someone that I know is a massage therapist and we're talking to her patient, whatever, it was on the table, right? And the person on the table was like, oh, you need a van? I have a van that's never used, just fill it with gas. And it's free advertising for me, drive it all over the place. So you think about, I mean, this is a moving style van, but to Josh's point, like there are vehicles that are available.
I'm going to criticize one part of your presentation. You said, I want someone with unlimited resources. Everybody in the room checked that. Because nobody has unlimited resources in this room. But if you start to ask for exactly what you want, or maybe a little bit more, like you can actually get it. Like people in the room that have that. Like,
Yeah.
You're like, man, I need a car for a day. You can call me and borrow my car. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's resources in the room that everybody has that would be willing to give to you, but you got to know like exactly where it's going to be on your farm.
Let's hear what Nora has.
Speaking of resources, right? You look at mentors and opportunities for kids, right? For example, Coach Hugh does internships for fitness, right? If you're interested in exploring becoming a physical trainer, a therapist, he does that, right? I am teaching 2-3 classes in the public library. Why? Because I believe it's an important skill that others would benefit from. So there were a lot of us in this room that were willing to volunteer our time to mentor. And if you had a place where you could sign up, then you would have a roster of all these different professions. And when you have a kid that shows an aptitude, shows an interest, then you have a person to pair them with. It basically gives you an index of different disciplines. Thank you. You were starting.
I still say that. I don't think I've ever actually won that. All right.
Thank you all so much for all the
Yeah.
feedback. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna be back next year.
All right.
Yes. It's about how to fit this summer and some information about food. So thank y'all so much. I really appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Melanie.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you.
All right. We will be back here next Wednesday. Hope to see everybody in person, but if you need to join us virtually, same place, same time.